And welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys are just tuning into this channel for the first time, I am Krulsawat, Realtor out here in Las Vegas, Nevada with Simply Vegas. And I got my special guest, my right-hand man, the gurus of all gurus when it comes to financing. That's right. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Dan French.
The myth, the legend. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
How you doing?
Good, man. Man, I'm just really kind of adapting to
what?
This weather. This weather seems like it's been overcast for the last few days. It's been nice, man.
Yeah, it has.
It has. It's taken that hotness away, you know?
Well, yesterday, it literally rained, right? And it was very humid, but I went over to my one of my family members' home, right?
Yesterday you did?
Yeah, and we were playing a thing called cornhole, which sounds very weird, right? Have you seen that with the hacky sack?
No.
And it's got like this piece of wood with a hole in it.
No,
and
man.
Basically, it's like playing horseshoe, and I think you're about like 50 feet or maybe 30 feet, and you toss it into the hole. So it was actually a pretty fun game. I actually really enjoyed the game. It was actually pretty cool.
Did you guys keep score?
Yeah. We got pretty competitive with it. I found out that I'm not as good as I thought I was.
First time though, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
also, I want to say if you are interested in real estate or financing, you have a question for us, you have a situation, call live into studio at 702-409-4495. If we don't answer the call, just hold on for just a second. We'll get you on air with your question. Or if you have any questions, go ahead and put it into the comments, and I'll try to read the questions as best as I can, as I'm trying to, control everything. It's kind of hard when...
Very hard.
Yeah, you're trying to host a show. Also, pay attention to as well, and trying to control everything.
Yeah.
Because people don't really see what's going on in the back end. Do you see what I'm saying,
No,
Dan?
they don't, man.
So it's very hard.
It's a tough situation.
No, it is. And you know how that is because, Dan, you have a radio show too as well. Let everybody know, what is the show about and what days do those shows air?
Well, I mean, it airs on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Also, I bring in a lot of your people on your team.
Yeah.
And the goal is to kind of put everybody's perspective out there. But it airs on Tuesdays, Saturdays. It's a good show. I mean, I think it gives a lot of valuable information. But I tried to have 5 people on last night. That was a challenge.
At one time?
At one time.
Why would you try to have 5 people?
Because I just wanted to check it out. And actually the vibe was cool. Mm-hmm. But, man, it was a lot of it was like a lot of things going on at one time. And then you're trying to carry the conversation like you said.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult,
That's what I'm saying.
Pretty difficult.
Now, did you hear about the mansion that just closed by Blue Heron up in McDonald Highlands?
Yeah.
Original price on this was $28 million.
Was that the video you put out about the mansion that you bought? Because I saw that.
No. This is a $28 million.
Oh, $28 million home.
For $25 million. And the fascinating thing about this thing was it sold within 7 days on the market.
That's crazy. $28 million.
$28 million, but it actually sold for $25 million. So, I mean, let's take a look at this.
Is that a hedge fund investor?
No, I believe, according to the article, it was talking about, it was some billionaire that bought this property. And I wanted to do a video on this property.
Who's the builder on this?
This is, I don't want to really plug in the builder because we're not getting paid.
I understand. Move on.
But it's a great builder, and basically you could probably tell already who the builder is. But I mean, take a look how fascinating in the architectural design of this home.
It's right above here, right?
Yeah.
Would you say it's right above, right behind us?
It's like less than 5 minutes. I literally was at this home. I don't know if I told you this story once, but I had a client that we went to go look at this builder, and you see the front of this home here. Right? He'd asked me if I'd been here at this home before. And basically I said, no, I haven't been here before, but just follow me. So I was acting like I knew where I was going. Mm-hmm. I literally went over here, right? And I thought this was a door. I made an ass out of myself to realize it wasn't the door. So we kind of giggled and chucked about that. And
Where's the front door? Right here?
Then I came over here, and I thought this was the front door, and I realized that wasn't the front door.
Wow.
So I had to pick another door. It was like a compound. So I finally found the front door and realized it wasn't even the front door. So there was multiple ways to enter this property. However, I really made an ass about myself. But at the end of the day, it was a very, very cool home. Now, I just felt like I was a little bit out of my league. Now, have I sold $3 million homes, $5 million homes? Have I seen all these type of homes? Yes, I have. I mean, when you get into a home at 28 million, 25 million, something like this, it's kind of out of my league, I'm going to say.
Well, I'm going to say something about that.
I just haven't sold anything at that magnitude. Now, look, if you're a hedge fund guy out there or if you're a billionaire, look, I would definitely love to earn your business because I'm going to tell you this right now. If I do a sale on something like this, right, this would literally change my life, okay? Like, you don't know how much this would be a life changer for me, my family, and my team. So I appreciate it. So if you got the money and you want to buy a home like this in Las Vegas, call me, okay?
Show me the money. 28 million.
I know. I mean,
Millie.
Look at this. This is a loft style. You do have some pocket doors, and these are actually true pocket doors with 0 thresholds on here. And take a look at this peninsula with the LED lights. I mean, this thing is gorgeous.
Wow.
Let us know in the comments below if you know who the builder is. And it seems like in the comments, some of these people have already got it correct, just based upon
You imagine waking up in a house like that? That'd be just amazing to me.
Well, this is not even a house. This is actually a resort.
Yeah, it is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, at $25 million, somebody just commented, $25 million home, I wonder, how much is the property taxes? So let's break it down. 1%. So if it's $25 million that you close on the home, that's $250,000, right? In taxes. That is insane.
Per month.
Woo! What do you do with that kind of money? Well, it is so high.
That's
is
over
so
$1 million.
high.
That's over $1 million.
It's 2.5 million. So basically, that is so insane of what you would be paying on a monthly basis.
See, I'm gonna say you got the grind.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't about the grind. This is about what other people are you rubbing elbows
exactly.
with.
This is like
money.
all who you know at
That's
this point.
That's it, man.
So
this is like.
Yeah, this is not about like how good you are at selling homes, how good you know the product. The only reason why I would be selling somebody a home like this, number one, is because they probably see me on YouTube and they probably liked me, right?
Yeah.
I built a rapport. Or you're actually physically rubbing elbows with these people.
Yeah, you're in that environment. Like you're in that area of everybody else that has money.
Yeah.
That's the only way that's how you do it, man. That's how these guys do it. And this is I would say this is even the top tier.
Yeah.
Higher than the average, like there's a level that there's realtors at.
Yeah.
This is even above that level. That's that's like the stratosphere level.
And check this out, 25 million. So let's just say if it was actually a 50 million, because the agent on this deal actually double end this deal, dude. Imagine how much money you would actually be walking away with. So basically, if we actually did 25 million times a total of 6% on here,
be like, I don't know, it'd be like
1.5 million.
Wow.
Wow, imagine that.
Wow.
Life changing.
Just one deal.
Just one deal. Would you take a vacation?
I mean, I would definitely take a vacation. I'd take a year vacation, I think. I'd just take time off and just see, do I want to keep doing this? You know what I mean? Dude, when you got money like that, you can start making, I'm not saying it's life-changing where you're not going to be able to work, but now you have options.
Yeah.
Now it's like, do I want to do this, or do I want to do this on the side, or do I want a team to do this? And then I'm off doing something else, running a business. There's always other things that you can do. New challenges.
I want to do a quick plug here because now we are going to be on a podcast too as well. So we are starting to record a lot of this stuff for podcasts. So if you're just tuning in for the first time for podcasts, again, my name is Chakits. I'm with Simply Vegas Realtor out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, you can visit us at lvhomeexperts.com. This is a great website that you can go and take a look at all the homes that are currently available, especially like a home like this.
Yeah.
Now, look at this bathroom. Isn't this thing gorgeous?
Oh, it's amazing, man.
Look how they actually had these lattices that going across, and they use the sun and the light to protrude right across. Look, just the style of this thing. Isn't this like crazy? Just the lighting
Is that
alone.
the deflect? Obviously, it's a style because it looks nice.
It's a style, and you got rainfalls here too as well.
Right, but it deflects the sun a certain way. Is that why they do that?
Well, not only that, it brings in more light because look, when you design a home like this, right? When it comes to the architectural design, they also use the elements, right? Well, that's what I would do. Use the elements, right? How the sun rises, how it sets, how to use that to take advantage for energy efficient.
Where's the strip view?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Obviously, you know what I mean? And you got to understand, homes like this, at this magnitude, they pay a third-party company to evaluate the land, look at the atmosphere, right? And the environment, how things settle. And that's how they reposition the home. They pay thousands of dollars. Does that make sense of what I'm saying here?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just for that specialty alone. That's crazy.
Do you think like when you have a home like this that, you know, you got these people that come in and buy these homes, did they actually live there full time?
I feel like they don't. I feel like, look, if you're worth $1 billion,
it's just planting money.
Yeah.
Is that all it is?
Well, you know what? It could be, but it's just like I got to spend my money on something.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's like, you know, we would.
I mean, do you really live in a home like this? This, for me, this doesn't feel like a home. This just feels like, you know what? I got money. This is a vacation home.
I feel like something you would use for special events or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, and then it's like you probably live somewhere else or you're traveling consistently, so there's many places you're stopping along the way. It's not just I'm going to stay in Vegas. But look at that barbecue. Let me go back. Can I see that real quick? That is nice.
That is insane.
Look at that.
Like,
the only thing I would want is a cover. You know what I mean? Like, you want a cover.
Well, I mean, you don't even worry about it because it's not like you're cooking. When you got this kind of money, you're not cooking. You got a private chef. You probably got a full staff on place.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at this compound.
Who cares about them getting a cover, right?
That's pretty messed up, man. Who cares if they get a cover?
Right.
Dang.
It's 116, man. Who cares?
Yeah, you'll be fine. Relax.
You'll have a heat stroke after 2 hours.
So Nevada now has the higher COVID-19 cases rates than any other states right now. According to Nevada, case counts continues to rise at a significant rate, and the state now has 7 higher day case rates of 100,000 people than any other state in the country. I mean, I think we knew that this was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's Vegas just wanted to open up, and I can see why.
Yeah.
But there's risks, you know, and we're seeing the risks, you know. So.
Well, I mean, obviously, this is a state that's based upon tourism. Mm-hmm. You've got everybody across the world bringing that stuff here.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. And, you know, when they get off these planes and some of the process or the protocol that they have in place, you know, we don't, what really goes on when they come off the plane? Is it just, it's like it is normal processes?
I don't think they're doing any testing, right?
Yeah. I mean, because I was talking to my mom. She just went and she visited her dad. Mm-hmm. It's funny because it was raining last night, and the only time it rained, she was coming in. You know how they come in on a specific direction? Well, they had to come in from the west. They had to circle around because the weather was not too good last night.
Oh, yeah, because it was like kind of thunder.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, man, and it was a lot of turbulence. And so anyway, to go back to it, you know, she didn't say anything like there was any changes going on or coming off the plane. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I don't think they're taking huge measures on that. Because
I am about to go to Hawaii here pretty soon. Mm-hmm. And we've been watching the rules to go to Hawaii. Yes. So I think one of the rules is you got to get a test within 72 hours of landing. If you don't get if you don't get tested, you are mandated to do a 10-day quarantine.
Wow.
Okay. They also have a rapid test there, and they also have their own system where you would have to register with the city, right? They have their own website and all that stuff, which is great.
It's going back in time a little bit because I don't think they're 100% capacity.
I think they're about to go 100% capacity.
Yeah, they're still 50%. Yeah, they are.
Excuse me. Now, here's the thing. I am leaving on the 7th, I think, right, of next month, this coming month. They just passed on the 8th. You no longer need to do a test. As long as you're vaccinated, you have a card, you have free entry.
Really?
So a day before, I got to go get the COVID test. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I just missed it by one day.
Actually, I got a buddy that just told me, man, he's been on the show, not recently, but
yeah,
I was talking to him. He's got it. Yeah, first time he got it.
On your show?
Yeah. But this was like, I haven't seen him for at least a month.
All right, because I'm going to say, I don't want you guys to be passing this thing back and forth. Like, come on, guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I think he just got it. So it's kind of crazy because you think that that's gone or that's past or, you know, people getting it. It's not saying it's not going to happen, but you would think that part of it's done. But yeah.
Federal government proposes a grant, right? Mm-hmm. For Lake Mead water levels. So I guess that's some good news. And
what are they saying about it?
You know, I didn't really read the article. I'm just only reading the headliners.
Because, I mean, there was a huge problem, and there still is a huge problem. I don't know. You know, like I said, dude, it's like water's just, you know, Brett came on here last week. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it looks like the water officials of Las Vegas is backing up the federal government bill that helped pay for the California project that would lead more water into Lake Mead. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's a good thing. So it looks like this is upwards for $750 million grant for the fiscal year of 2023 to 2027. The project, by the time it's done, the cost is should be around $500 million. They're saying, I guess.
Wow.
So it could be anywhere from $500 million to $750 million, I guess.
Wow.
That could be, damn, that's pretty pricey, dude.
No, it is pricey. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just that, and it's weird because I think you don't think about this stuff till it becomes crisis.
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of comments about the water supply, but I just feel like by the time that the water runs dry, I'd be dead by then.
All right. I mean, they'll figure out something, but I think what it is too is that the weather's just, there's no rain. How long? Yeah. I mean, even last night it rained, but for how long? You know,
I mean, it rained for a while.
So think about it like this: that's the first time we saw rain in a long time. I just feel like there needs to be more rain for us to, you know, not have these threats of drought, especially with how much water is being pumped out of the lake. You know, so.
Oh, you telling me, dude?
It's crazy.
Big time. Now, Las Vegas home builders sales fall as price rise. Now, the question is, why? Now, let's get into this a little bit. Builders report that 1,085 net sales in Southern Nevada in May, the second consecutive month-to-month drops, and the lowest totaling this year. So basically, what they're saying is, we're not selling in as many homes. Why is that, Dan?
Prices are going up, and people are getting squeezed out.
Damn.
That's what it is. I mean, I hate to say it. If you're an FHA buyer, good luck.
There's no more FHA buyers.
Good luck. 9%.
That's crazy.
9%.
I have not worked with an FHA buyer probably for almost a year now.
Well, you look at the agent comment-to-comment reviews if you get an MLS, if you see what they're saying, a lot of them don't even put FHA as being an option. And a lot of them are flipping homes.
Yep.
So guess what? FHA
Is it
flip
still
rule.
a 90-day rule?
Yeah, FHA flip rule.
So let's explain that here. So because the market is increasing so dramatically in price, if you are a FHA buyer buying one of these flips, the problem is that FHA won't let you make the purchase because of the increase of the home so dramatically that they want to protect their asset and their liability, correct?
Yeah, because they insure against it.
Correct.
So
which makes
100%.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's like anything, you know, it's some programs are just not going to be meant for things.
Yeah.
In this market, I hate to say it with the increase in prices. I'm not saying don't go out and get an FHA loan. I'm just saying you're going to have some challenges.
But I mean, if that is the case, right, you can go conventional at 3% down. Is that correct?
You can. Now, again, it comes down to qualifications, though, right? You got shaky credit, probably not going to be able to do the 3%.
Now, what's the difference between the 3 and the 5? Is there a benefit?
No, I mean, it just depends on how much you have. I mean, there's not really a benefit. The insurance is higher. Sometimes the rate's not as good because you're putting more risk on the bank. But overall, as long as you got a good credit score, yeah, you can do it. And I do them quite a bit. But, I mean, that's... Again, if you're an FHA buyer, there's usually a reason, right? Because maybe you don't have enough money to put down or your credit's not up to standard, or there's been some things on your credit that's in your past. So conventional's not really liking it. They'll do the 5. They won't do the 3. So, yeah, I mean, it's an option. That's what I would do.
Also, one of the challenges that I see here with the new homes that is taking place is that homes are not appraising with these new home builds.
Oh, no.
Okay? And I'm going to get into this a little bit. I feel like the market is starting to retract. It's starting to slow down.
That's an alarming thing, too, by the way.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like this. It's like, where do you think that falls? Do you think it's because home builders are, you know, exceeding the pace of what the market's doing? Because you think about it and you look at the areas, and those areas do support in some cases that there's properties that are sold, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the builders are increasing the base price by so dramatically, and based upon supply and demand, you have buyers that are coming out and willing to pay more than the other person because they're afraid that they're going to get left behind. But in all the contracts with new home builds, it states that we won't drop the price at this time. I mean, they could drop the price, but they won't drop the price. And you're forced to pay for anything that's above the appraisal. And people are getting stuck. Even on resales right now, I'm starting to see that the appraisals are starting to come back where it's not appraising. The sellers are not even dropping the price.
See, it's astonishing to me, though, because I feel that our
deals
market
are canceling.
Well, our market's starting to suppress slightly, very slightly. I mean, what I mean by that is there's more properties coming on very, very subtly. I think there's going to be a little bit more competition, but I think when you look at that where they're just, I'm going to cancel, man, you're already that far in, you're halfway into a deal like that. It's just weird to me that they would just be willing to back out.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's another article. It says that heated housing market shows signs of cooling down. This is where we talked about this. I actually looked at a property today, and I was actually running the numbers, and I seen the last 60 days where it went from like 340 all the way up to like 385. Then from 385, it dropped down to 375. Then it dropped down to like 360. And this was very fascinating because I was looking at the trends. It literally just climbed up so fast, but now it's starting to tick down. I mean, we went up from 360, 380, back down to like 360 in this pocket neighborhood. I couldn't believe it. And I also looked at the days on the market. It went from 7 days, shot up to like 14 days, right? And now it's like 18 days. I'm like, whoa.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. So I don't know if it's just that little niche, because remember, when it comes to real estate, everything is kind of very local, right? It's very small. It's broken down to neighborhood communities, master plan communities, right?
Yeah.
State, area, whatever it is, right? So I find that very fascinating. But last night I was analyzing this deal. I'm like, are we coming to a halt? I mean, are we hitting our peak? Because we talked about this last week. It's how high can we actually increase in price to the point where maybe now we are at the peak. And if we do have a backslide, how far is it going to backslide, right? I mean, we don't know all that stuff, right?
Well, I think we're starting to see some data that's supporting that. When you start to see, like we talked about, builders and the appraisals coming in, you know, going back to that part of it, you know, it's like, you know, people coming into that, they think, well, the appraisers should just adjust the price up. And when they go to the final inspection, they're not doing that. So I think that's one thing to look at where we're that's going to say, hey, you know what? Is this market ready for a shift? And then we also see people back to work. Rates are starting to increase.
Yeah.
Up and down. So I think they're starting to see some movement in that direction.
I know, this is crazy. After months of heating activity, home buyers across the country are pulling back, raising prices. New reports show, and it's no different in Las Vegas. Nationwide, the pace of home builders sales last month fell by 5.9% from April to the slowest rates in a year. According to the report, Wednesday from the U.S. Census Bureau and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Ooh.
Wow.
I'm scared.
Yeah. I mean,
sell now.
Well, I think everybody's thinking that they're gonna just let this market keep going up, and they're gonna make a killing. I mean, they already did, a lot of these people.
Yeah.
So, but I think now they're probably panicking a little bit, because I do feel it's topped off, and it is coming down just a little bit the other direction, and that's a good sign. I mean, we have to go.
You can't always go up.
No, man, we need. I feel like
we got to stabilize.
We need a correction. We do. Whatever causes that, we don't know, rates or economy or inflation. I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever it is, we do need it, because I can't see that this market. Think about it. If this market kept going, who the heck is going to afford a home in a year? Nobody, right? It'd be like the average starting price point. We'll be doing this show, and it'll be like $700,000 is the starting median price. Like, who's going to pay that?
It's like, come on, guys, no way.
Nobody. You got to be one of those hedge fund investors to buy a home, man.
Yeah, and I'm not down with that. Now let's take a look at what's going on with today's housing market. Let's take a look at current activities right now.
Oh yeah,
we have a total of 2,670 homes currently available on the market, and this is only for single-family residents detached. That is correct. The median price point for a home that's listed is $495,500 at $229 a square foot, with an average days on the market 20 days. But most important, let's take a look at what has actually been sold, because this is the real data. As you can see right here, the median price point for a home that actually closed was $397,500 at $214 a square foot, with an average days on the market 7 days. What do you get? 1,908 square feet, 3 bedrooms, and 3 baths. So that's not bad. So remember, last time, which is last week, we were at, 385 or something like that. So
this
now,
is for the whole valley, though, right?
Yes, this is for the whole valley, including Boulder City, Las Vegas, unincorporated Las Vegas, and also the city of
So when you
Henderson.
look at that price per square foot, right? Obviously, it's a blend.
Correct.
So you go to places like SUMMERLIN or Henderson, there's going to be a higher cost per square foot. Those are desired areas. And I'm not saying Boulder City's not, but it is a little bit cheaper, right? Where if you buy a home there, what is that difference if you bought a home there?
Well, Boulder City is actually kind of pricey. If you take a look at
Is it really?
Yeah, if you take a look at their historic homes, they run about like $450 average. But now I have been looking at hotels there, motels there. I was looking at one for 29 units. Basically, they're selling for about like 2.1 million. But man, these things are getting scooped up fast.
Yeah. Wow. 2.1 million, huh?
Yeah, not bad for a motel. I was thinking about getting into the motel business, but I mean,
would you live there? Would you like have your place in the back where you would sleep? You just come out.
Nah, I'm not that kind of person, man.
I'm just playing, man.
Now, that's a good idea. I would probably do it
You
for
save
like
money.
Well, it's not about saving
I know,
money. I would
play
just do it because it's something new, and basically, like, you know, like when you get a new toy, right? It's like you get a car, you're like cleaning it and polishing it. I'd probably do that for a week, but then I'm saying, you know what? Nah.
I can see you like back there. You'd be running the numbers, and then you'd be walk. Sir, you want a room? Okay, hold on 1 second, and then you're done, and you come back up front. You're like, all right.
So the sidetrack here. Let me tell you this story. This was a few years ago. Dan and I had decided to take like a boys' vacation out, right?
Oh yeah.
We decided to go to California. And I was like, you know what? Let's go. Spur of the moment. So Dan went on a website to get a reservation on a hotel. And you know, like how we like to do, we like to keep it cheap.
Oh, I was being cheap.
Now, I thought I was tight.
Woo.
However, you couldn't squeeze a penny out of his butt. Like, I thought I was tight. Okay.
Man,
So we get to this hotel, and this is like 2 a.m. So we get to this hotel, and he takes me down to like some industrial area. And I'm like, Dan, this doesn't seem right. Like, are we going to the right location? He's like, yeah, man, and this is before like the iPhones, right? And this is with MapQuest, where you literally had to print it out. Remember that, Dan? So we're doing this MapQuest, and we're going through like these railroad tracks in California, industrial. I'm like, just doesn't seem right. So we finally pull up to this place, and we're like exhausted and tired. And this is like a motel, like right next to this industrial complex, and there was like a railroad track in the back. So we go inside, we walk through this door, and you kind of get that musty smoke smell.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then
It's like that old casino smell.
Exactly. So as we enter, it was like a long, narrow hallway. Off to the left had the counter with the bulletproof glass, and had this guy was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I started looking around and started analyzing this place, and I was like, "Dan, how much did you pay for this?" And I think he said it was like $12 or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, "Dan, we are not staying here. You are crazy."
Hey, it's $12 with breakfast.
Oh my god. Like, so you can imagine what type of like motel this was, guys. I was like, I can't stay here.
It was the greatest, man. I wish we videotaped.
I know.
Like we recorded that.
Dan was like, I can't stay here. So we left and we had to go find another place, and we did. So that was like,
dude, it was like you could tell drug dealers were roaming.
That's exactly how it was.
And you know what's funny is we when you, the heck was that? What was that? Oh my god! Did you buy one of those?
Yeah, I bought one of these.
That's so funny, man.
It's an air horn. It's cool, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, wasn't it like a third world country?
That's how it felt, and I could not believe you was just trying to be so cheap, dude.
I know, man.
That was crazy.
I know. We finally got a good spot.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was we had to pay for that. They could keep the money. We didn't even care at that point. It was like, y'all can just keep this money. So we went somewhere else, and I think we paid like $80. Now, the funny thing about this was because it was so late at night, there was only one bed.
Oh, I know.
And I was so tired. You know, y'all may think, hey, it's like Brokeback Mountain stuff going on, but like I didn't even care. We just a bunch of homies just hanging out. So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I thought I ended up sleeping on the floor.
Oh, you know what? I think you did.
Yeah, man.
I think you were like so paranoid. I was like, you go ahead and sleep on the floor. I'm going to sleep on the bed. I'm going to be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Because I felt like if I woke up, you'd be all hugging me.
Now with all that hair on your back.
Right. Got to get that wax on you.
But I want to get into financing, Dan. What's going on with the financing, man?
No, it's good. So, we all know that rates are playing this, up and down game. So you look at what rates are doing, 3.02% by Freddie Mac. It's just up and down consistently. So you're looking at that. Mortgage applications are 18-month lows.
Wow, really?
And I think it's because...
Why is it slowing down?
Well, like I said, FHA buyers are out of the market a little bit. Even VA, I'm not saying that they can't get a house, but a lot of these offers, they're looking for conventional offers. And I think that FHA is suffering. These first-time home buyers, they're getting squeezed out of the market.
You don't think it's because the median price point across the country is about $57,000, and basically what's happening, the median price point for a home across the country, right? It's already like 8 times is the amount, which now the average person can no longer afford to buy a home. In addition to that, with unemployment, right? And also, if we take a look, almost 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck with credit card debt, which will not allow them to even purchase a home because of the debt to income ratio.
Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right. And you look at the refis and you look at the refi applications, they're down too, but my refis are still there, and where they're at is the cash out.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, people go on to forbearance. They can't get a loan right away because they're under forbearance. They go back and they're making 3 on-time payments. Now they're backing up on their feet. Maybe they're working. They're paying off debts and they're paying off credit cards. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
I think that FHA buyers, because of price point, to go back to what you're saying, is 100% correct of why they're suffering. And first-time home buyers, because they're getting beat out because they can't afford to go above that asking price, especially here, but across the country, it's the same. So you look at that. You look at inflation. It's starting to come up here even more in Las Vegas. That's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Gas prices are going up here. Now, is it going to be a long-term effect? We will wait and see. We'll see what the Fed does. I know they're purchasing bonds consistently. They're not going to taper. And you look at all these things that we're seeing here in Vegas. I'm starting to see a lot of these costs go up. Gas, food, everything is really just going up here. So that's one thing to look at. When you look at forbearance, we still have 2 million people under the forbearance plan, right? 1.2 million are under serious delinquency.
1.2?
Yeah, 1.2 million are under serious delinquency. Now, that's across the country. That's not here.
Can you explain forbearance real quick for the audience?
Forbearance is really just a way for the servicer to either hold or make an agreement. They also have where they can work out where payment arrangement, or maybe they put the loan, the back end of the loan, or they just basically freeze your account or freeze your payments is what they're doing.
Now, I heard what they are now doing is actually extending those forbearances up to 40 years to remodify that loan.
Yeah, actually,
that is crazy.
I had a client I was refinancing, and they came back and gave her that 40
Really?
Years. Yeah, and she took it. I said, well, look, that's cool. You're going to keep that payment, but now you're another 10 years, and you're just pushing it down the road.
And you know how much more money you're going to owe them, dude?
It's more interest.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. They're helping.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the best route. I would do it if I had to do it, but there's somebody that did it, and now it's like they're stuck. How many people hold their house for 40 years?
But I tell you what, if you can get a 40-year loan on an investment property, that is like great.
Well, it's got to be usually what it is.
I'm just saying.
It's got to be a distressed situation.
Yeah.
Like you got to still go through the process.
No, I'm just speaking in general. If I can get a 40-year loan on an investment property, that would make sense because my payments will be a lot lower.
Yeah.
And I could leverage out the money. Do you see what I'm saying?
I mean, but they also extended the eviction and the moratorium here to July 31st. So I don't really know, and I talked about this on my own thing here, my own show. I don't know what that's going to do. If you're already in a position, maybe it gives you 30 more days to think about what you're going to do. But there's a lot of people, their credit's going to take a big hit, but they still stacked some money. So what is that going to do for people really for an extra 30 days? What do you think?
Moratorium.
Yeah.
Explain that for the podcast listeners out there.
Well, basically what it is that they can't evict you or they can't kick you out. The servicer cannot foreclose on your property. Right. And so they are not going to. And even if they did, let's say you contested that.
I thought that was for the tenants.
It is. It's for both.
Okay.
It's for the tenants and for somebody that's a homeowner, right, that has a mortgage. But let's say that you're a homeowner that has a mortgage and they contested that.
Yeah.
You might have a year or two by the time that you're kicked out anyways, by the time that they go through all of these stacked up proceedings that's going to happen if there's a ton of them.
Yeah. So
the process of going through court may even get you more time is what I'm saying. Is that the way to go? No. I mean, I wouldn't say that long term, but so that's one thing to look at, and if they don't contest it, it could be 90 to 120 days anyways.
Now, I want to take you back. You talked about inflation earlier. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is inflation here to stay, or we're going to get deflation?
I don't think we're going to get long-term inflation. Okay. I think we will have short-term inflation, and I think we talked about it, but the short-term inflation is necessary. Mm-hmm. Why? Because if you're going to have a market that comes back as a boom as we've done, it's especially if you compare it to last year. Yeah, this is a natural process. If you're going from 0 to 100, that's basically what we're doing, right? As an economy. So if we're going to 100 miles an hour, well, naturally we're going to have inflation. Now, how do you tame that back? The Fed continues to come in and monitor things, right? They look at the employment. That's going to be something they're taking a look at. They're looking at inflation. They're looking at rates. Short-term bonds is how they influence the market, not long-term. So as they're purchasing these bonds, the tapering process is not going to stop anytime soon. And so
go ahead.
Short-term inflation, to answer your question, is going to be here, and I feel that it's going to start to come down a little bit towards the end of the year.
I feel that inflation is now here to stay just due to the fact that there's so much money in the money supply. And I don't think inflation is going away. So the prices that you see today is here to stay.
Well, they manipulate it by the amount of dollars in circulation plus or minus.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But it's also consumer confidence as well.
True.
Because when you have more money in the money supply, people have that money, they go out and they spend more money, which will increase the inflation process just due to the fact that when we have supply and demand, just like the lumber costs, right? Mm-hmm. It's gone up 300%. Copper, right? All these commodities that build a home.
Sure.
So these are the things that you have to think about.
We know that builders, too, with those costs.
Yeah.
This is not just material. Mm-hmm. They can't get workers, right? And so now they're having to pressure every situation to build these homes. And they're passing that cost. And I get it. I'm not saying that don't go buy a new home, but they're not going to take a hit for it.
No, I think what happens is they have their margins and they want to stick with that margin.
Correct.
So they just increase everything else.
But they're going through problems just like anybody else of not just materials. Everybody says, well, the cost of materials. Yeah, they're not going to just take a hit and then just build homes for free.
Yeah.
It's also the skilled labor. It's the workers. People are choosing not to come back to work. Mm-hmm. So it's hard finding people to build these homes. So I think there's a lot of issues still. I mean, there's got a lot of things that need to work out. I feel it's going to work itself out towards the end of the year, and we're going to see an influx in properties, and we're also going to see that inflation is going to start to subtly come down. Partly because they're going to, rates are going to keep increasing. The market's doing it now. The market is showing that there's signs of it going up a little bit. And what do we see? What do we see when rates go up? Refinance applications are down. Putting offers in on properties and things like that, that's starting to come down. The market's coming down a little bit just in the housing. So I think that's going to be the long-term correction. I do think that rates will eventually go up.
I don't think so, man, because if it goes up, things are going to slow down.
Well, they already are.
Even more.
We went up to, I think it was...
Where are we at right now?
Well, 3.02, fluctuating 7 basis points either direction, right? So we're still hovering, but it got up to 3.25. Mm-hmm. Okay? Came back down a little bit, and it's doing this, pendulum effect. It's up and down, but the reason is because this market, man, is so volatile. Overall, though.
Well, not only that, because a lot of people that right in the U.S. today, they're currently in debt, obviously, and everything is really based upon payments because we're now a nation of just making payments, right?
Yeah.
People don't really look at the purchase price when they buy a home. They want to get approved for as much as they can. Where that sticker shock is going to be is when they figure out taxes, insurance, principal and interest, right? HOAs. That's where the sticker shock is. It's what my monthly payment is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, the average person starting out on buying a home, it's starting out at what, 385?
397, 500.
Think about that. So there's a big reason right there why FHA buyers, that's exceeding the county limit for FHA. So really, who has an option there? It's really like people that can come in, conventional buyers, mortgage on that. Let's say if you put the 5% down, you're looking at a $2,200 payment, maybe $2,000 to $2,200. That's not including everything else that you would have to pay on a home. Mm-hmm. Let's not just talk about payment.
Yeah.
There's other things involved. You have an HOA payment. That's obviously a payment. You also have to, there's water. There's all kinds of stuff that comes with the home. Also, too, any maintenance that you have in the house. There's a lot of things that come to it.
Especially with that air conditioning unit, especially if you bought a home that's like 10 years old and you got an air conditioning unit. Ooh, boy.
And that's if you want to say, oh, well, am I going to get and just keep the house as is, or do I want to put my own touches? Let's say you buy an existing home.
Yeah.
What if you want to change something? What if you want to do an upgrade on something? That's more money. So I don't know. I mean, to me, a lot of people are doing everything they can and pushing all their dollars into this house, and it leaves them nothing left for any improvements, any changes, any type of, let's say, furniture that they want to have. Mm-hmm. All of these things are considering factors. You don't want to just go buy it's like buying a nice car and you're not doing anything with it. It's like people want to have some reserves left over so they can go take some money and go do something with the house,
Yeah.
And then not feel broke. And I think that's what's happening right now. People are just like, man, it's taking everything.
So at this point, people are just probably going to end up just renting because it seems like the rents are still lower and it has not caught up.
15-year highs.
Well, it's 15 years highs, but what I'm saying is it still hasn't caught up to the median price point for a home.
But what I'm saying is people are going to start weighing the pros and cons and saying, what is that difference? If I'm already going to pay $100 or $200, maybe say less on my rent, I'm just going to go get a house, even though if I can afford it or not, I can't. But if you're forcing me to go, now this is obviously if it's family. If you're a single person out there, you can go rent a room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can go get a 1-bedroom apartment. You probably pay a lot more than you did before 5 years ago. But you look at where things are at today and what you really could put your money into. Man, it's not a big difference between renting and buying if you're buying a house or renting a house.
Yeah.
It's not a huge separation.
Now, there's something that I want to show you that's very important here as far as the trending line here, okay? Let me pull up on my screen here. So on my display screen here for the single-family residence, okay? Now, if we take a look in 2008, this was actually our peak right here, okay? This is when the hype of the market, right? You remember that, right, Dan?
Yeah.
347,000. Let's bring it up to 2008. Let's just say 350 or whatever it is. Market tanks all the way down 2010, 2011. As you can see, the lowest price for a single family resident at that time in 2012 was $135,000. Dropped dramatically, more than 50%, like 60% at the height. Now, fast forward all the way until today, roughly about that 390 range that we just talked about. As you can see, we've already superseded the 2008 levels. Now, my question is this alarming at this point? How high can this go up at this point?
Well, I don't know if it's alarming, but it tells me that there's peaks and valleys, and I think we're at that peak, right? I don't know if this market is saying it's alarming because I don't think it's going to be where we're just crashing. I don't think that. But I do feel that we do need a recession, not a recession, but a regress. I don't know if it's the same. Maybe it's the same, but we need to have the market kind of correct itself by coming down. And I think we need to come down about 15 to 20%. And that's my opinion.
Yeah.
If we come down 15 to 20%, and I think with more properties coming out, it's just going to open up a lot more opportunity. And maybe that supply and that demand will still be there, but I think that people are not going to be in such a frenzy that the average home buyer is going to have an opportunity. That's what we're looking at.
All right, I want to get into the next segment. And the next segment, this is where we're going to take your questions. All right, Dan, let's hit some of these questions. Let's get some of these good questions, Dan. Go ahead. What do we have here?
Okay, let's take a look here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you finish on the financing side?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off, bud.
No, it's all good. I know we had some time. So let's see here. What's best area in Vegas for new homes and gated community for $1 million homes? Must be new construction.
Must be new construction for $1 million. It seems like you can't get nothing now for $1 million.
I was looking at this this new property that came out.
Yeah.
Not property, but the new home build. Starting point was $550, and it was like the builder that normally is like it markets towards middle to upper middle class. So that right there tells you that is that the starting point. $550 says that's the you got 4 plans.
Yeah. One
was $550. I think one went to $650. Obviously that exceeds conventional county limit, but I mean it's crazy, right? I mean that's starting point.
No, it is. I mean, check this out. Carmel Cliffs by Pulte Homes up in Summerlin.
It's crazy.
They had 3 models, but you have 4 models to choose from. I think the starting over there was like 800, 900,000.
Yeah.
That was just the base price. And we're talking about a 28 or maybe 3,000 square feet home. I can't remember. However, if you guys want to check out that video, go ahead and visit the YouTube channel. I literally just posted those videos so you guys can watch the full video tours of those properties. Now, they started off around, I think about 900, let's just say, all the way up to about 1.1 million for about 4,000 square feet, I think the max. I could be wrong, but go and check out the video. The lot premiums, according to the sales agent, start off around $100,000 just for a lot premium. Now, I'm looking at these homes, and
I think a lot premium, and we were talking about this.
That's just unbelievable.
Well, I think it's not a scam, but it's a way for them to make money. Like who's going to back out? If they want a house, they got a house, and it's like, you're telling me that lot costs that much money. Justify that.
It's just the demand. But the crazy part about it in the contract, it really says that we can make up our own lot premiums. It's all negotiated.
I know.
There's really not a price for it.
Well, the contract basically, if you look at it, says, anything that the builder wants, the builder gets. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's. You obviously look at them all the time. I mean, you look at it. It's not that
they pretty much hold the deck of cards.
They hold all the rights to it, really.
Just like with the financing, they want you to get finance through them, and the reason why they want you to get finance through them is number one, we end up using their own title company, but you save a fee, but they have control of that. Makes the process easy for them. You sign a form stating that they're going to have their insurance company to reach on out to you, which is they probably own. Mm-hmm. The reason why they want you to use their lenders is so that way they have more control of the deal. And what I've noticed now, what builders will do is because they know that their home is overpriced and it won't appraise. And the reason why they want you to get finance first, right, through their builder, because what they want to do is they want to look at your personal financial situation to say, hey, this guy's got $200,000 in the bank. He's qualified. We know that he is a solid buyer.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they know that you can go up on the price, and how they determine if you are a candidate, because you signed a form stating that if the property doesn't appraise, you're going to move forward. And how did they know? Because you turned in all your financials.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say something on that.
Yeah.
Just real quick. So I go through the process of juggling people's situations. Yeah. And when you look at their situation, everybody's different. Look, I get it. Sometimes you need the money. Yeah. Right. Sometimes rate's more important. You know, if you look at what I'm doing in long term, I feel rate's more important. I think though, when you get down to it, I don't win every situation. When I say win, not everybody works with me. Yeah. That does new homes, because they may need
sometimes
funds.
They start off with you.
They start off with me. And it's perfectly fine. I think though there's a lot of people that do work with me because we don't have high fees as a company. Also, when you look at the situation, most of the time those builders are building those costs in the interest rate. Yeah. So you're getting closing costs that really you're paying for. Where are you paying for it at?
In the back end.
The higher rate.
Yeah.
You're paying it over time. And that's what it is.
And that's what the problem is right now. It's that the buyers are coming up with so much money. They're trying to save money on every single angle, right? And what's happening right now is that you as a consumer, you're trying to save every single dollar, and I totally understand. But now you need to ask yourself, do you save a half a point with the outside lender?
Right.
Right? So that way you have a lower fee every single month. Or do you get some of your closing costs paid for up front, but you have a higher fee, right, every month of your monthly payment? So that's what you need to figure out. So the question is this: how do you actually figure that out? Well, the way you figure it out is you figure out how much money you're actually really saving every single month. Then you need to figure out how long you're going to stay in that property, number one. And number two is based upon how much you're saving and how much you are getting a credit for, you divide it by the number. It tells you exactly how many months you have to stay in the home. So that's how you really figure things out. Now, if that sounds very convoluted or that doesn't make sense, give me a call. I will be happy to break that down for you.
Yeah. I wanted to say one thing about it. So you're 100% correct on it. Okay, you are. I'm not just agreeing. It's the truth. But I think a lot of people, they're like, all right, I'm going to work with this lender. Believe it or not, there's a lot of buyers that don't work with the builder's lender. They don't, and sometimes they don't work with me. They work with another lender. That's fine. But the builder's lender gets away with so much more than the average lender. Like, if I said, okay, I'm committed to working with Dan, or I'm committed to working with this lender. Yeah. You can't keep coming back to them through the process and emailing them going, hey, you sure you still want to use them? Hey, did you remember me? I was the guy you started with, or the person or the woman you started with. I'm going to give you this money. Mm-hmm. We're going to help you out. And it's like, it's a constant battle. Yeah. You have to set the foundation up front with the builder. Put your foot down. Mm-hmm. Regardless if you're using me or an outside lender or anybody, this is who I'm using. Don't call me. Don't email me about being, am I going to still work with your lender? Because one, I think it's kind of, I hate to say it, borderline harassment. Like, if somebody's already said, hey, I don't want to work with you, hey, you're not going to get everybody. But they want everybody, and that's the difference. Their ability to continue to keep going after those people that they're trying to get their business from because they want to control all parts and make that money, I think it's a little extensive, in my opinion, because I think people get turned off. You know, it's like I get people that send me emails like, man, this lender just reached out to me again and we're closing in 2 weeks. It's like, hey, you sure you don't want to use them? You sure? Are you positive? It's 8 months ago. Are you sure? And it's like, yeah, I don't want to use you.
All right, let's get another real estate related question here.
All right. So let's talk about this. And I have a question for you. So I was reading this message. It says Chakits has the most detailed videos when he does video home tours. Yeah. And this is not to like pump you up. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do that. Okay. I'm basically coming out and saying, what makes you different with those videos? Because we have other realtors that do it. What approach do you take? I know it's detail, but it just seems like everybody likes your videos more than the average realtor? I don't know. That was one of the questions, honestly.
Well, that's probably a question from another realtor who wants to know exactly how I do things. I don't know.
I mean, is it just personality?
Yeah, I think it's just personality. I'm just being myself. At the end of the day, it's like, look, if you like me, you trust the process. Look, I'm here to help you out. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not a plug, man. I'm not here to say like, oh, Chakits, you're the greatest. I'm not going to like be that guy.
I mean,
so I'll just be honest.
I can't get everybody. There's times where people take this information and go buy a home on their own. Sometimes they'll use another agent, and it is what it is. Again, I'm just here to provide the content and also the information. Yeah. You can buy a home the right way, the smart way. Right. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to show you how things are done. That's it, man.
No BS, but I'm just going to tell you, and this is not, that's the thing I get. Not everybody likes the podcast. Not everybody likes what we do, but everybody loves the tours. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's fine. But that's a common thing that I see is everybody's liking the home tours. Let's see this. Let's go to another one here. When you get these homes in Vegas, visited last week, how do you know what are the base build options versus upgrades? I guess that is why I need to contact Chakits when I'm ready to leave the East.
So basically what happens is there's so many variables, especially if you are on a budget buying a home out here in Las Vegas and you're building a home. One of the first things that we need to really identify is like the location and areas that you want to buy and figure out what price point you're at, how much money do you actually have. We need to figure out exactly how much you're going to be coming out of pocket, right? So there's so many variables on this. So once we identify a location, and let's just say we win a property, first thing that we take a look at is what is the base price and what is actually included on the base price. Now, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of these builders out here and what you kind of get standard. So I can literally walk you through it and say and point these things out. Hey, this is what's standard. But also based upon your budget in this location and in this neighborhood, you're probably going to be spending about 15% of the base price. Now, based upon 15 to 20% of the base price, you're not going to get all these options. That's just what the common person would actually spend. Anything above that, now you're going to be running into risk of territory where it's not going to appraise, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one of the guidelines that we have to take a look at based upon your budget and also the comps in that neighborhood, right? Because you can't overbuild the home. Also, another thing that we have to look at is when we build a home, I always look at it on a resale value. So there's already certain things that we just need in that home for a resale value, right? So that's where the expertise comes in. But now let's just say we find a home that you like, we win the bid, we get the base price. Now that we have the base price, now we have to look at the structural items. What structural item configurations do we need to change based upon what you want? So that's 1 feet. Now, once we have that, now you have to come in with a certain percentage. Some builders may want 10, 15, 20%, and also they may want a percentage when we go to the design studio. Now, when we go to the design studio, depending on their rules, how they want to play this game, they may want 10% of the base price, or they may want 50%, or once you pass 10% of the base price, they may want 100%. So there's so many variables there, right? Also, we have a lot premium too as well. So depending on the lot that you pick, you got to pay for the lot premium, right? So, I mean, there's all these little fees that people just don't know, and they don't know the process. Like, I can literally go on and go on, but the problem is that you're probably not going to understand the process, right? And that's why I'm here to help you, to walk you through the process. So that way, as we go through the process, I can explain to you, hey, this is how things work. But it's hard to explain everything all on this radio show. So it's best to do a consultation and we go through the process together.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about new, and I want to kind of talk about that because there's a percentage. I think there's got to be a percentage of homes that come on the market, right? Yeah. We're at 3,000 homes roughly. I just saw this number that you put up, 2,700. Yeah. It has to be a significant reduction in prices for us to be in a normal, healthy market. Yeah. And I think that's going to be like, 9,000 to 10,000 homes?
Well, the last time I checked, it was anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000.
Okay. So we
want at least a 3-month supply.
We're not even close. No. Not even close. So we have to have a huge reduction. And why that's important is because it holds these builders accountable. And now what they got to do is compete, and there's nothing to compete against. If you have a market here, and then everybody knows that if there's nothing there, you can jack these prices up as much as you want because it's still a new toy, and you still have people willing to pay for it. Like you said, consumer confidence, and people are always going to want to buy new.
Now, you made a good point. So let's take a look at this graph here, and this is for single family residence, right? Let's take a look at for the average days on the market in 2018 for the months of supply, 2.5 months. As we come along, boom, we start hitting what? December, right? Coronavirus, February and all this, 2020. So 3.6. But now look at this. It drops down here. Now we are at 2.2 months of supply. So these things are going pretty quickly here. So now let's take a look at a 5-year trend. Going back to 2016, 4.6 months supply plummets, right? In August of 2018, 2.3. Rises back up because of the coronavirus somewhere around here, right?
Yeah.
3.5. Now we are trending back down 2.2. Now let's do this now. Let's take this down to a 10-year. Look at this. Look at this wave, man. It's just going down.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it has to
Look
be
at that.
A healthy market would be, in my opinion, would be in 2011 and 12.
Yes.
And all we're doing is consistently going down. And it has to be a dramatic increase to have a healthy leveled market. And I don't think we're there.
Now, the question is, why do we have these head and shoulder patterns? The reason why we have this is because if you look at the data, now when it comes normally around the holidays, the winter months, right? The supply increases for a reason because people start to slow down as far as when they want to shop for a home, right? During the holidays, because now they are not focusing on buying a home. Their attentions are now focusing on the holidays, the buying gifts, relaxing, family time, until school starts back up again and all that good stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we come around the summer, then what you'll see is that the inventory starts to drop again. But again, if we take a look throughout the last 10 years, look at this. We were at almost 8%.
That's healthy right there.
Yeah. Boom. We're coming down.
Look at that.
Down.
Like,
but it just keeps
like
trending down. Exactly. A slip and slide.
All the
you
way
see
down.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, we have to have a huge adjustment to get back to that market, and we haven't seen that for years. And I'm not saying that you can't go out and buy a home. I just think that options will be there once you see a market open up like that, you know, and that's what people want. It's also going to hold the builders accountable.
All right, Dan, let's finish up this show. Any last words?
No, man, I appreciate it coming on. Hopefully everybody learned some things. And
let's talk about your podcast. Plug that in real quick.
It's just Tuesdays and Saturdays, man.
What time?
All over the place. No, it's just like depends on when everybody shows up. No, it's usually between 10 and 12.
When anybody shows up or whenever somebody shows up around here.
I'm waiting at the door for people to show up. No, I don't know.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the LV Home Experts Radio Show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Hit that notification button too as well, because we do have a bunch of properties that do come up on the market. This is the only channel where you're going to get the brand new properties. You're going to be the first to get it. And don't forget to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and all the other social medias. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Chakits.